How do you own your standard without coming across inflexible or uptight, especially when it comes to dating new people? Thank you. It's a great question. I think I use this phrase, owning your standard, a lot. And sometimes that gets misunderstood. Let me start by saying there's no such thing as a wrong standard. Whatever your standard is, it's right. That's right. Of course, I'm saying within, I shouldn't even have to say this, but I'm saying if your standard is, well, you got to come over and you got to let me hit you upside the head, like that's stupid. Whatever your standard is correct. The key here, so if you're someone that's like, that person's got to pay for the first date, that's your standard. That person's got to pick me up, that's your standard. That person's got to call me after we're done to make sure I got home safe. That's your standard. I want to fuck every night. The first minute we meet, we go to a bathroom and we fuck and then we go on a date. That's your standard. Again, it can be crazy because it's yours. And you can be as stringent with your standard. Your standard can also change from person to person. You can say, you know what? That used to be my standard. My standard used to be I sleep with everyone on the first date to make sure they're a good fuck. That could be your standard at some point. Then the next time you meet someone, you go, you know what? I've realized that that's not a great standard for me. And now I won't have sex with someone unless we're in an exclusive relationship. That's your standard. That's fine. They all work. The important part is to make sure you're not taking it personally when someone doesn't want to meet your standard. That's the way that you don't look uptight. It becomes uptight when you get zoned in that this is a personal thing. You won't take me out to dinner. That means you think that I am less than and I don't deserve a dinner. No. They're just telling you their standard is different than yours and they're not willing to level up to yours. So I think that's what happens. So and if you're wondering, well, what about this? What I like to do, a fun exercise I like to do, is whenever I'm thinking, I always start, am I crazy? And then I move on to, okay, let's imagine that person going to their friends complaining about me. And I always imagine, I go, okay, let's say I wanted to, I go on, I need to be like, imagine someone going to their friends and being like, can you believe I met this guy on a dating app? And he was like, and I met this guy on a dating app, and he was like, and he didn't want to come to my apartment to meet me. Can you imagine? The friends would go, well, yeah, I mean, you're a stranger. You should meet someone for the first time out at coffee or drinks. See? So that goes back to, like, if someone said to you, well, why don't you come over? And you said no. That's not you being uptight and flexible. That's you saying no. And the way to not take it personally, you just go, hey, I'm not going to come over tonight, but I'd love to do drinks sometime. See how you have to do the jujitsu. You have to go, that idea ain't good for me, but I'd love to do this. That idea sucks for me, but I'll do that. You always are. And there's a point where that person gives up offering below your standard and you give up on them trying to add up to yours.